This week on Storyboard, we speak to Matt Eastwood, CCO JWT Worldwide, about JWT's focus on trends and innovations, how data helps creativity, and can creative agencies coexist with the new age agencies and consultants. We also speak to Lucy Green, Worldwide Director Innovation Group JWT, about identifying trends and the importance of trend spotting in advertising. Hello and welcome to Storyboard. This is Shibani Gharat. I caught up with Matt Eastwood, CCO JWT Worldwide, a day after Publicis Group's announcement to stay away from award shows. Being a creative person himself, he felt that the biggest challenge for this holding company would be to keep the creatives within their agencies motivated. Apart from this, he also spoke about what it takes for an agency like his to coexist with new age agencies and consultants in today's world. Let's take a look at this chat. On this beautiful bright morning in Cannes, we have Matt Eastwood speaking to us on Storyboard. Matt, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
You know, globally, brand managers and brand owners are under tremendous pressure due to sluggish growth. What kind of pressure does this put on creatives?
Well, I think it definitely it makes the creative need to perform harder. You know, I think in a weird way that sort of financial pressure puts much more emphasis on creative and what we do, and I hope it encourages people to take more risks, to do things in a different way. You know, when you're facing financial challenges, the worst thing you can do is just exactly what you've been doing for the last years. So I think, you know, creatively, I think it's stimulating because it's going to encourage different things. But you know, it is challenging because, you know, across the world, you know, clients are saying we want the same thing but for less money because they're making less money.
So you're saying creatively it's stimulating, but do you look at it as an opportunity?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I think ultimately what we do is we find creative solutions to solve business problems, and if that's a real business problem, you know, we can be you know, more inventive in the way we approach it, using creativity. And I think Fearless Girl is a great example because in reality that's probably not that expensive. Like, you know, I don't know what it costs to make a bronze sculpture, but it's not like a $20 million campaign. It's like a couple of $100,000, you know. And to me, the coverage that they got from that simple, relatively inexpensive idea is a great example of how creativity can really step up in times of, you know, in lean times, and work even harder to do more for the brand. So I think that's good because I think that's the way it's going to force us to think. And I think that's a win for agencies, for clients.
You know, JWT as an organization has been focusing a lot also on trends and innovation and
Yes.
intelligence and, you know, mapping that data, you know, spotting trends. How does it help the creative function?
Well, I mean, it really helps in terms of, you know, supplying the kind of backdrop for the creative work we're doing. And, you know, for me, a great example was we won the Creative Data Grand Prix last year for the next Rembrandt.
Yeah.
And I think that sort of wonderful balance between data and creativity. And I loved I remember the president of the jury saying, we didn't give a Grand Prix last year because we didn't think anything represented what we wanted to say, and this was the first Grand Prix we've given in this category. And I think, you know, I'm working really hard to encourage our creatives to use data and knowledge in a creative way. So, you know, gather all the things that we're talking about. You know, we've been doing a lot of work in terms of female tribes and use that information in how we deliver our work. And I think it makes it smarter and sharper and more relevant. And I think the trends reports that we do, I mean, I absolutely love the inspiration that comes from them every time. And, you know, I think the latest one that came out, you know, was talking about voice and AI, and I think there's so much stimulation in there for creatives to kind of get their head into that new space. So yeah, it's a hugely important part of our business.
You know, I've been asking this to almost all creatives that I've been meeting at Cannes. In this data-driven world, how would you as a creative person, put forth your case for creativity?
I think creativity supported by data is, I think that's the best of both worlds, because I think clients respect the data. There's something empirical about that it's sort of the equivalent of testing, maybe. When the data suggests something, and I think if you can attach the creative to it, it makes the creative even more powerful. So I think I hugely encourage everyone to not be afraid of the data. The challenge is there's so much; it's overwhelming. And what do you listen to, and what do you take? But if you're trying to use data to kind of prove out an idea, it's fantastic. It's interesting. We launched a global campaign for J&J for Listerine about a year ago now, and actually the whole campaign was built out of data, and the creatives led the data, because we had this idea that what if we found out and researched thousands of people across the world the difference between Listerine users and non-Listerine users, and just see if they're bolder. So we asked them questions like, would you be open to skydiving? And the Listerine users said yes more often than regular people. And then we asked them question after question, and we gathered this data, and suddenly we got this picture of these people that, hey, it just seems by coincidence that Listerine users will do more than regular people. So, that built ultimately the campaign, and we built all the TV ads around that idea, and it all came from data, which was really interesting.
So organizations or new age organizations like an AKQA or Sapient, Razorfish are gaining a lot of momentum, especially at a festival like Cannes. Do you think a traditional agency and such organizations can coexist along with the consultants?
Yeah, it's funny, like I almost think the sort of the label of traditional agency is sort of not true of the world we live in today. Like I think it's a way to describe agencies that have a legacy. We're the oldest agency in the world, 150 years old. But if you look at the work that we're winning with, there's nothing traditional about it. We are winning, in the same categories, in cyber, we're picking up golds. We won the Grand Prix in cyber last year. So I think traditional agencies have become those sort of digitally integrated agencies. And I think the difference between, say, a J. Walter Thompson and an AKQA is they tend to do sort of enterprise work deep within digital that we probably would hand over to our partner company, Mirum. So I think at the sort of top communications marketing area, I think we're all the same in that space, but some of the specializations are slightly different. So it doesn't worry me at all, and it's just a different way of approaching it.
So one of the decisions that really shocked us in the Cannes week is Publicis not participating in awards for next year. What do you think of the decision, considering you're a creative person and, platforms like these, Cannes Lions, are platforms that creatives really look forward to?
Yeah. I think it's disappointing, and I think it's probably an overreaction. I understand the motivation because costs are tight for everyone, and we don't want to be seen as a frivolous industry wasting our money, and I get that, but I think in reality, particularly as a young creative, I remember winning a Cannes Lion can make your career. It can get you that job that you've always dreamed of. It can get you the pay rise that you wanted. It can get recognition for the work, for the clients. And I think to sort of throw all that out in one fell swoop is a little bit of an overreaction. So it's a shame. I wish there was a sort of a halfway ground. I imagine that what we'll do at WPP is just continue to manage costs, be smarter about how we do it, but I can't imagine that we'll walk away completely, because I think the biggest impact is on talent. I think talent, that's how they get recognized and it's how they grow, and I think particularly young creatives, I don't think they're going to want to be part of a company that doesn't allow them to be recognized for their creative contributions. So the truth is, I think they'll survive a year. I think that's fine. But I think they'll seriously have to question, if we do this for longer, what impact is that going to have on our ability to recruit, and retain talent? So I think it's a big decision. That
do you think it will have a domino effect on other networks and?
I don't think so. I think other networks will continue to have discussions around costs. We very deliberately managed our costs across WPP networks this year, and we're very aware of every dollar we spent, and I think we'll continue to do that. But I don't think, if anything, I think what might happen is potentially other networks might reduce the number of shows they enter, other shows. But I still think Cannes should be and is the focus, because it's the one that the client world pays attention to. It's crazy because it's winning at Cannes is a new business tool.
Yeah.
When we won 2 Grand Prix last year, we had clients knocking on our door going,
I'm sure.
Yeah, we want one of those.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't understand. I look at it as an investment in reputation and new business, beyond just the sort of shiny objects.
And it's not just Cannes, it's not even Effie's, your effectiveness awards too.
Yeah.
So which is
and if you can be great in both of those, then it's not the only reason clients choose agencies, but it is a reason why they do. It's on their list of we want creativity and we want some way of recognizing that. So I think hopefully they're just pulled out for a year and they're just trying to manage it for that year, and they'll be back. But we'll see.
All right, thank you so much. Thanks for speaking to us.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
It is time for us to take a short break. When we return, we speak to Lucy Green, Worldwide Director, Innovation Group, JWT, about identifying trends and the importance of trend spotting in advertising.